Welcome to another video from Snobbots.
Hi, welcome to another video by Snob Monkey. You've all seen the rumours. AI has taken over Hallmark's 2025 Christmas movie lineup. But what if I told you most of what you've heard is wrong? Today, we're separating fact from fiction, from the wildest fan theories to the actual tech quietly shaping Hallmark's holiday magic. Today's video is all about the truth about Hallmark's 2025 AI rumours and exposing them. I know this is quite a long video, but watch it till the end and you'll be amazed by what you'll learn.
It began, as these things often do, not with a grand announcement or an official press release, but with a series of whispers spreading across the vast interconnected landscape of the internet. You have almost certainly seen the rumours by now flickering across your social media feeds and popping up in fan forums dedicated to the art of the perfect holiday romance. The central claim is as breathtaking as it is unsettling that artificial intelligence has quietly taken over the creative reins at the Hallmark Channel. Every heartfelt love story, every quaint and snowy town square, every perfectly timed holiday kiss that has defined their brand for decades, all supposedly are now being meticulously crafted not by human writers and directors but by a sophisticated and unseen machine. It is a narrative that speaks to our deepest anxieties about technology, a story of art being subsumed by algorithm, of human warmth being replaced by cold, calculated code. The idea itself feels like something torn from the pages of a science fiction novel, yet it has found fertile ground in the minds of a dedicated and observant audience. The theory posits that the entire 2025 Christmas movie lineup, a slate of films eagerly anticipated by millions, is the product of an advanced AI system. This system, the whispers suggest, has been fed decades of Hallmark scripts analysing every trope, every character arc and every emotional beat to learn how to replicate the formula with flawless efficiency. The result, according to the theory, is a collection of movies that are technically perfect but emotionally hollow, a digital echo of the heartfelt stories that fans have come to cherish. The rumours paint a picture of a creative process devoid of human touch, where every decision, from the choice of a protagonist's profession to the climactic declaration of love, is determined by a series of logical computations designed to maximize viewer engagement. This narrative has been fueled by a potent combination of technological advancement and cultural unease in an era where AI can generate photorealistic images, compose music and write coherent essays. The idea of it scripting a movie no longer seems like a distant fantasy. The very tools that have astonished us with their capabilities have also instilled a creeping sense of apprehension. What does it mean for human creativity when a machine can so convincingly mimic our art? The Hallmark AI theory taps directly into this modern day fear, presenting the beloved holiday movie as the latest frontier to be conquered by automation. It suggests that even our most cherished traditions, our sources of comfort and joy, are not immune to the relentless march of technological progress, transforming a simple pleasure into a battleground for the soul of storytelling itself. For the devoted fans of the Hallmark Channel, this is more than just a casual curiosity. It is a matter of profound importance. These films are not merely entertainment. They are a form of annual ritual, a dependable source of comfort in an often chaotic world. The suggestion that this comforting ritual has been co-opted by a dispassionate algorithm is therefore deeply unsettling. It questions the very authenticity of the emotions the films are designed to evoke. Is that warm, fuzzy feeling genuine, or is it the calculated output of a machine that understands sentiment but cannot feel it? The whispers of an AI takeover challenge the very contract between the network and its audience, forcing viewers to wonder if the magic they feel is real or merely a very sophisticated illusion spun from data points and predictive models rather than from the heart. But what if I were to tell you that the story is far more complex than the viral headlines suggest? What if the truth is not a simple binary of human versus machine, but a more nuanced narrative of collaboration and evolution? Today, we embark on a journey to separate the established facts from the pervasive fiction that has grown around this topic. The sensationalized claims of a complete AI takeover have dominated the conversation, creating a compelling but ultimately misleading picture of what is happening behind the scenes at one of television's most iconic brands. Most of what you have heard, from the most outlandish fan theories to the most confident declarations of a robot-run writer's room, is fundamentally wrong. The reality is not a story of replacement, but one of augmentation, where new technologies are being integrated in ways that are far more subtle and infinitely more interesting than the rumours would have you believe. Our investigation will take us deep into the heart of this digital mystery, moving beyond the clickbait and into the practical realities of modern filmmaking. We will explore the wildest fan theories, tracing their origins and examining the fragments of evidence that have been used to support them. From the claim that every script is now penned by an algorithm, to the notion that background actors are being replaced by digital avatars, we will dissect each rumour with a critical eye. At the same time, we will shine a light on the actual technology that is quietly shaping the future of entertainment. This is not about a hostile takeover, but about the quiet integration of tools that help human creators work more efficiently. Tools that are changing the process of making movies in ways that are largely invisible to the average viewer, but are nonetheless significant. The core of our exploration lies in understanding the difference between the fantasy of an all-powerful creative AI and the reality of AI as a sophisticated assistant. The narrative of a sentient machine dictating stories of love and loss is undeniably captivating, but it obscures the truth of how these technologies are being applied in the real world. The actual innovations happening right now at Hallmark and across the film industry are less about replacing the human element and more about enhancing it. We will reveal how AI is being used not to write the stories but to streamline the production, not to direct the actors but to perfect the final image. This is a story not of automation but of assistance, a tale of how human artists are learning to wield powerful new instruments to help bring their visions to life more effectively than ever before. This journey is essential because the rumours touch upon a fundamental question about art and authenticity in the 21st century. By untangling the web of speculation, we can gain a clearer understanding of the true relationship between creativity and technology. The story of Hallmark's 2025 Christmas movies is not just about holiday romance. It has become a case study for how we, as a culture, are grappling with the rise of artificial intelligence. It is a story filled with intrigue, misinformation, and surprising truths. As we proceed, we will challenge your preconceptions and offer a more grounded perspective, revealing that while the methods may be changing, the magic of Hallmark's holiday season remains a profoundly human endeavour guided by emotion, intuition, and the timeless desire to tell a good story. This is Debunking 2025 Hallmark Movie AI Fan Theories, a deep dive into one of the most fascinating and misunderstood stories in modern entertainment. Our purpose is not simply to dismiss the rumours out of hand, but to engage with them seriously, to understand why they have resonated so powerfully with so many people. We will meticulously break down each claim, treating it not as a silly conspiracy, but as a reflection of genuine curiosity and concern from a passionate fan base. We will hold the theories up to the light, examining them from every angle to determine which elements are pure fantasy, born from the fertile ground of online speculation, and which, if any, are rooted in a kernel of truth. This is not about judgment, it is about clarification, providing a clear and comprehensive guide through the fog of misinformation. Our investigation will be twofold. First, we will dedicate ourselves to revealing which of the most popular claims are simply without merit. We will consult with industry insiders, technology experts, and those familiar with the production pipeline to provide definitive answers. Are the scripts truly being written by machines? Are the actors we see on screen digital creations? Is every plot twist dictated by an algorithm designed for maximum emotional manipulation? We will address these questions directly, presenting evidence and expert testimony to cut through the noise and establish a baseline of reality. This process of debunking is crucial as it allows us to clear away the more sensationalized aspects of the story and focus on what is genuinely happening in the world of film production. Secondly, and perhaps more importantly, we will explore the real behind-the-scenes innovations that are genuinely taking place right now. The truth is often more nuanced and compelling than the fiction. While AI is not writing entire screenplays or replacing lead actors, it is being integrated into the filmmaking process in a variety of powerful ways. We will pull back the curtain to show you how AI-assisted tools are being used in areas like visual effects, color correction, editing, and even pre-production planning. This is where the real story lies, not in a narrative of creative replacement, but in one of technological assistance that allows human artists to achieve their vision with greater precision and efficiency. Understanding these real-world applications is key to grasping the true impact of AI on the entertainment industry. Ultimately, our goal is to provide you with a complete and balanced picture. By the end of our journey, you will not only understand why the more extreme theories are unfounded, but you will also have a sophisticated appreciation for the subtle yet significant ways in which technology is shaping the movies you love. This is a story about the intersection of tradition and innovation, of human creativity and machine intelligence. It is about moving past the fear and hype to see the reality of the situation. The hook is not just in the mystery of the preset rumors, but in the promise of discovering the truth that lies beneath them. A truth that reveals as much about the future of filmmaking as it does about the enduring power of a well-told holiday story. To truly understand why these AI theories have become so explosive and widespread, we must first appreciate the very thing they threaten: the iconic Hallmark formula. For decades, the Hallmark channel has perfected a specific brand of storytelling that has become a cultural touchstone, particularly during the festive season. It is a formula built on comfort, predictability, and heartfelt emotion. The core elements are instantly recognizable to any fan: a high-powered, city-dwelling professional, often disillusioned with their career, finds themselves unexpectedly returning to a charming small town. This town is inevitably picture perfect, adorned with twinkling lights, bustling Christmas markets, and a strong sense of community that the protagonist has long since forgotten. It is a world removed from the cynicism and complexity of modern life. Within this idyllic setting, our protagonist inevitably encounters a handsome and kind-hearted local, perhaps a baker, a Christmas tree farmer, or the owner of the town's beloved hardware shop. An initial friction, often born from their clashing lifestyles, soon gives way to a budding romance nurtured through a series of cherished holiday traditions. There will be ice skating, there will be cookie baking, there will be a town-wide tree lighting ceremony, and there will almost certainly be a touch of Christmas magic, whether it comes from a mysterious old shopkeeper or a timely snowfall. The narrative arc is gentle and reassuring, guiding the viewer towards an inevitable and deeply satisfying conclusion where love triumphs, community is reaffirmed, and the true meaning of Christmas is rediscovered. The predictability of this formula is not a flaw, it is its greatest strength. Audiences do not turn to Hallmark for shocking plot twists or gritty realism. They watch because they know exactly what they are going to get: a warm, fuzzy feeling by the time the credits roll. It is a form of cinematic comfort, food reliable and soothing, offering a 2-hour escape into a world where problems are solvable, love is attainable, and happy endings are guaranteed. This consistency has built an intensely loyal and observant fan base, people who have internalized the rhythms and nuances of the Hallmark style. They know the beats of the story by heart, and they can sense even the slightest deviation from the established pattern. It is this deep familiarity that makes the brand so susceptible to theories of artificial intervention. Because the formula is so well defined, any change in tone, dialogue or visual style is immediately noticed and scrutinized by its dedicated viewers. If the dialogue feels a little too polished, if the pacing seems slightly off, or if the emotional beats land with a precision that feels almost mathematical, fans are quick to question the source. The very consistency that makes Hallmark movies so comforting also makes them appear to a skeptical eye as if they could be generated by an algorithm. The formula itself, with its repeatable elements and predictable structure, inadvertently provides the perfect breeding ground for the theory that a machine has finally cracked the code to creating the perfect Christmas movie. The spark that ignited the widespread AI rumours in 2025 was not a single dramatic event, but a confluence of subtle observations from an increasingly discerning audience. Fans deeply familiar with the network's signature aesthetic began to spot something different in the new slate of holiday films. It was not a radical departure from the formula, but a series of small, almost imperceptible changes that, when taken together, created a distinct feeling of uncanny precision. The first thing many viewers pointed out was the impossibly perfect visual quality. The snow, for instance, seemed flawless in every single scene, blanketing every town with a pristine uniform layer. Even in films supposedly set in climates where such a perfect winter wonderland would be a meteorological miracle. The lighting too was consistently immaculate, with every frame bathed in a warm golden glow that seemed too perfect to be natural. This hyper-polished look was complemented by what some described as unnaturally sharp editing. The pacing of scenes felt tighter, the cuts cleaner, and the transitions smoother than in previous years. The cosy, slightly homespun quality that had long been part of the Hallmark charm seemed to have been replaced by a sleeker, more cinematic gloss. Then came the scrutiny of the dialogue. While always known for its earnestness, the conversations in the 2025 movies felt, to some, almost too clean. The lines were delivered with a crispness and clarity that lacked the occasional stumble or awkward pause of genuine human interaction. It was as if every sentence had been meticulously optimized for maximum clarity and emotional impact, stripped of the messy imperfections that often make dialogue feel authentic. Faced with this accumulation of subtle changes, a significant portion of the viewership jumped to one powerful and all-encompassing conclusion: a robot wrote this. The theory provided a simple and compelling explanation for everything they were observing. The perfect snow, AI-generated special effects, the flawless lighting, AI-assisted color correction, the overly clean dialogue, the work of a large language model trained on decades of romance scripts. This single idea neatly tied together all the disparate observations into a coherent and dramatic narrative. It was far more exciting to believe in a secret AI takeover than to consider the more mundane reality of evolving production techniques and bigger budgets for post-production. The theory was not just an explanation, it was a story, and a captivating one at that. The social media ecosystem acted as a powerful accelerant, transforming these initial observations into a full-blown digital snowstorm of speculation. A comment on a fan page would be screenshotted and shared on Twitter. A TikTok video comparing old and new scenes would go viral, and YouTube creators would produce lengthy analyses dissecting every perceived anomaly. Each share and every comment added another layer of perceived legitimacy to the theory. In this echo chamber, suspicion quickly hardened into belief. The idea that a robot wrote this became a popular meme, a shorthand to describe the feeling that the movies had lost some of their human warmth, sacrificed at the altar of technological perfection. The rumours took hold not because of concrete evidence, but because they gave a name to a feeling that many fans were struggling to articulate. So, with the stage set and the rumours swirling like a blizzard, our mission today becomes clear. We must step into the role of investigators, armed with curiosity and commitment to clarity, to navigate this complex and fascinating landscape. Our primary objective is to break down the most prominent and outlandish AI Hallmark theories one by one. We will not simply dismiss them. We will give each claim its due, exploring its origins and the logic, however flawed, that underpins it. By dissecting these popular narratives, from AI screenwriters to digital actors, we aim to provide a definitive answer to the question that has captured the imagination of so many: what is truly going on behind the scenes of our favourite Christmas movies? This is about bringing light to the shadows of speculation. Our investigation, however, will not stop at simply debunking myths. It is equally important to show you what artificial intelligence can and does actually do in the world of modern filmmaking. The reality of AI's role is far from the sensationalized fantasy of creative replacement. Instead, it is a story of powerful tools that assist human creators in countless ways. We will pull back the curtain on the post-production process to reveal how AI-assisted software helps with color grading, sound mixing, and the creation of seamless special effects like that perfect perpetual snowfall. We will explore how it aids in the logistical nightmares of scheduling and budget management, making the production of dozens of movies a year a more feasible undertaking. Our goal is to replace fear and suspicion with genuine understanding. By juxtaposing the myths with the reality, we aim to paint a more complete and hopeful picture. This is not a story about the death of creativity at the hands of machines. It is a story about the evolution of the creative process itself. We will demonstrate that while AI can handle many of the mechanical, repetitive, and technical tasks involved in making a film, it cannot replicate the essential spark of human ingenuity. The emotional core of a Hallmark movie, the nuanced performances, the heartfelt dialogue, the intuitive decisions of a director remains a profoundly human domain. The technology serves the artist. It does not replace the artist. This distinction is the critical takeaway from our entire investigation. Ultimately, our mission is to reaffirm that Hallmark's heart is still very, very human. The comfort, warmth, and magic that draw millions of viewers back year after year do not originate from an algorithm or a data set. They come from writers who understand love and loss, from actors who can convey a lifetime of emotion in a single glance, and from directors who know precisely how to capture the spirit of Christmas on screen. AI may be the new tool in the filmmaker's toolbox, helping to polish the final product, but the soul of the story, the part that truly connects with us, is and will remain a product of human experience. Let us begin this investigation and discover why, even in an age of incredible technology, the most important ingredient in a Hallmark movie is still heart. Let us begin our investigation with the biggest and most pervasive theory. This is the claim that has truly captured the public imagination, forming the foundation of the entire Hallmark AI conspiracy. The theory is simple, audacious, and profoundly unsettling that every single Hallmark movie script for the 2025 holiday season was written entirely by artificial intelligence. According to this narrative, there are no human writers left in smoke-filled, festive-themed rooms, brainstorming meet-cutes over gingerbread lattes. Instead, a powerful master algorithm is responsible for every word, every scene, and every emotional beat. From the initial spark of romance to the final snowy kiss. Under the mistletoe, the entire creative process has been outsourced to a machine. This theory suggests that Hallmark, in a bid for ultimate efficiency and cost saving, has developed or acquired a sophisticated AI specifically trained on its vast back catalogue. Proponents of this idea imagine the AI meticulously analysing decades of successful films, learning the precise formula for what makes a Hallmark movie resonate. It would know the optimal number of baking scenes, the perfect moment for a misunderstanding to create tension, and the exact dialogue that leads to a heartfelt reconciliation. The human element, with all its unpredictability and imperfection, has been entirely removed from the equation. The result is a stream of content that is perfectly formulaic, endlessly producible, and completely devoid of human authorship. The implications of this theory are staggering. It transforms the writer's room from a place of collaborative creativity into a server farm, humming away as it generates one predictable love story after another. Every character's journey, every witty retort, and every declaration of love would be nothing more than the calculated output of a complex statistical model. The theory paints a picture of a network that has cracked the code of holiday romance so completely that it no longer needs the very people who created it. It suggests that the art of storytelling, at least in this cozy corner of the entertainment world, has been reduced to a problem of data analysis and pattern recognition, a task perfectly suited for a non-sentient intelligence. This is the ground zero of the AI fan theories, the central pillar upon which all other speculation rests. It taps into a deep-seated fear that the most human of our expressions, the ability to tell stories that move and connect us, can be automated and commodified. The idea of an AI screenwriter is so powerful because it questions the authenticity of the emotions we feel when watching these films. If a machine wrote the story, is the warmth we feel real? Or are we simply responding to a cleverly engineered emotional stimulus package? It is this fundamental question that makes the theory so compelling and so frightening, forcing us to confront a future where our entertainment is not just assisted by technology, created by it. Like many modern myths, the AI screenwriter theory did not originate from an official source or a credible journalistic investigation. Its genesis can actually be traced back to a single, impactful piece of user-generated content that appeared in the bustling digital town square of late 2024. A fan, using the short-form video platform TikTok, created a compelling side-by-side comparison. On one side, they played a clip from a classic Hallmark movie from the previous decade, complete with its slightly earnest, occasionally clunky dialogue. On the other side, they showed a scene from a new 2025 film where the conversation felt noticeably slicker, more polished, and almost mathematically precise in its emotional trajectory. The video's creator offered a simple, provocative caption: "This is too perfect to be human." That simple observation acted as a lit match, tossed into a dry forest of online speculation. The TikTok video was perfectly engineered for virality. It was short, visually engaging, and presented a complex idea in a very simple, digestible format. Within hours, it was being shared exponentially. Within days, it had accumulated millions of views, with the comments section exploding into a frenzy of debate, agreement, and further theorizing. People who had felt something was off about the new movies suddenly had a name for their unease. The theory provided a satisfyingly dramatic explanation, and the snowball of rumour began its rapid, unstoppable descent down the digital mountain. From TikTok, the theory quickly metastasized across the entire social media landscape. It was screenshotted and debated on X, formerly Twitter, where users added their own evidence in the form of suspiciously perfect lines of dialogue or plot points that seemed to hit their marks with uncanny precision. It became the subject of long, speculative threads on Reddit forums, where fans pooled their collective knowledge of the Hallmark formula to argue for or against the AI takeover. Soon, YouTube content creators picked up the scent, producing lengthy video essays that analysed the theory in minute detail, complete with dramatic music and red circles highlighting supposed proof. Each new platform added another layer of perceived credibility, amplifying the original claim until it felt less like a fan theory and more like an established fact. The speed at which the rumour snowballed is a testament to the power of modern digital platforms to shape public narratives. In the past, such a theory might have remained confined to a small group of dedicated fans. But in the hyper-connected world of 2025, it was able to reach a massive mainstream audience almost overnight. The algorithm-driven nature of these platforms favoured sensational content, pushing the AI theory to the top of everyone's feeds. What began as one person's observation was quickly transformed into a global conversation, a shared story that seemed to confirm everyone's deepest anxieties about the encroachment of technology into creative spaces. The rumour spread not because it was true, but because it was a story that people were primed and ready to believe. The theory of the AI screenwriter did not gain traction in a vacuum. It landed in a cultural moment where AI capabilities were exploding into the public consciousness, making the seemingly impossible feel suddenly plausible. In recent years, the world has witnessed the astonishing rise of large language models and generative AI tools. We've seen AI create breathtakingly realistic art from a simple text prompt, compose intricate pieces of music in the style of classical masters, and write essays, poems, and short stories that are often indistinguishable from human work. This rapid, highly visible progress has fundamentally shifted our understanding of what machines are capable of, closing the gap between science fiction and everyday reality. To many fans, the idea that Hallmark could use this technology to automate its creative process seemed like a logical next step. The Hallmark formula, with its well-defined tropes and predictable narrative structures, appears on the surface to be an ideal candidate for algorithmic replication. If an AI can be trained to understand the rules of grammar and syntax, why couldn't it also be trained to understand the rules of a holiday romance? It seemed entirely plausible that a company known for high-volume production would look for ways to streamline the most time-consuming parts of its pipeline. In this context, swapping human writers for AI scripts could be framed not as a sinister plot, but as a savvy business decision designed to save time and money while maintaining a consistent product. Furthermore, the very nature of AI text generators lent credibility to the theory. When prompted to create a romance plot, these tools often produce clean, formulaic, and slightly generic narratives that align surprisingly well with the basic structure of a Hallmark movie. They can generate a meet cute, a series of festive activities, a third act conflict, and a happy resolution with ease. While lacking in genuine emotional depth and nuance, the output is often structurally sound. For fans who are already feeling that the new movies lacked a certain soul, the output of these real-world AI tools seem to perfectly match their observations. The theory was not just abstract. People could go online, experiment with these tools themselves, and see something that looked remarkably like a first draft of a Christmas movie script. This confluence of factors created what can be described as a plausibility trap. The general hype around AI's capabilities, combined with the seemingly formulaic nature of the content and the tangible existence of AI writing tools, made the theory feel incredibly convincing. It required fewer logical leaps to believe in an AI screenwriter than to dismiss the idea as pure fantasy. The rumour offered a simple, technologically current explanation for a subtle shift in creative output. It resonated because it fits so neatly into the ongoing cultural conversation about automation and the future of creative work, making it a believable and therefore powerful narrative that captured the anxieties and imagination of the audience. Now it is time for our first major reality check. Despite the compelling nature of the theory and the seemingly plausible evidence, the truth is far more conventional. Here is the fact of the matter. Hallmark still employs a full and vibrant roster of human writers. The idea of a fully automated, AI-driven script pipeline is, for now, firmly in the realm of science fiction. The process of creating a Hallmark movie script remains a deeply human, collaborative, and often lengthy endeavour. Scripts do not emerge fully formed from a server. They are born from the minds of writers and are painstakingly developed over weeks and sometimes months, involving a whole team of creative professionals. The journey of a script from initial concept to a final shoot-ready document is a complex one. It begins with a pitch, an idea from a human writer who believes they have a fresh take on the holiday romance. If the network likes the concept, the writer then produces a draft, which is just the first step in a long series of revisions. This draft is read and scrutinized by producers, network executives, and story editors, all of whom provide extensive notes. The script then goes through multiple rounds of rewrites, with the writer working to incorporate feedback, strengthen character arcs, polish dialogue, and ensure the story aligns with the network's brand identity. This iterative process is fundamentally about human collaboration and creative problem solving. Furthermore, every script must undergo rigorous legal and standards. Checks a process known as clearance. A team of people must verify every detail, from brand names mentioned in passing to the feasibility of a character's profession, to avoid legal issues and ensure the content is appropriate for the channel's family-friendly audience. This is a nuanced, detail-oriented job that requires human judgment and an understanding of complex legal and cultural contexts, tasks that are currently well beyond the capabilities of any AI system. The belief that an AI could navigate this intricate web of creative feedback and legal requirements to produce a finished script is a fundamental misunderstanding of how television production actually works. So where does AI fit in, if at all? The role of AI in the writing process today is far more modest than the theories suggest. Some writers may use AI tools as a form of sophisticated assistant. It might help brainstorm a list of potential small-town job titles suggest alternative phrasing for a clunky line of dialogue, or act as a high-powered spell check for story beats by identifying potential pacing issues. However, these are assistive functions, not creative ones. The final decisions, the heart, soul, and substance of the story, are still made by human writers and producers. Full AI script generation is not happening, not because the technology is not impressive, but because making a movie is about more than just stringing together predictable plot points. It is about art craft and human connection. Our next major theory takes us from the writer's room to the film set itself. Once the script rumour had taken hold, it was only a matter of time before fans began to scrutinise the people on screen with the same level of suspicion. This led to the rise of another fascinating and honestly futuristic theory that Hallmark is secretly using AI-generated actors. This idea branches into two main claims. The first, and more common, is that the studio is populating its idyllic small towns with digital background extras. These non-speaking characters, who mill about in the town square or sip cocoa in the local cafe, are, according to the theory, not real people but computer-generated creations seamlessly inserted to fill out the scene. The more extreme version of this theory takes it a step further, suggesting that Hallmark might even be using this technology for more prominent roles. While, few suggest that the main romantic leads are entirely digital, some have speculated that AI could be used to create minor supporting characters or even to touch up the performances of real actors. This could involve using deepfake technology, a technique that uses machine learning to superimpose one person's likeness onto another's body to create new characters from a library of digital assets. The goal, once again, would be to increase efficiency, reduce the costs associated with hiring, and maintain perfect control over every aspect of the production. This theory feeds on the growing public awareness and unease surrounding deepfake technology. We have all seen viral videos where famous actors are convincingly inserted into different films, or where politicians appear to say things they never did. The technology has become so sophisticated that it is often difficult for the naked eye to distinguish the real from the fake. Given this reality, it is not a huge leap for viewers to imagine a film studio using the same technology for its own purposes. If a hobbyist in their bedroom can create a convincing deepfake, it seems entirely plausible that a major television network with a significant budget could do so on a much larger and more polished scale. The AI actor theory presents a vision of filmmaking that is both efficient and deeply unnerving. It suggests a future where the background of a film is no longer filled with aspiring actors and local community members, but with an army of silent digital puppets. It raises profound questions about the nature of performance and the value of human presence on screen. If the people we see in the background are not real, does it change our perception of the world the film is trying to create? This theory, like the AI screenwriter Rumours, taps into a fear of replacement, suggesting that even the simple act of being present on a film set could one day be automated, further blurring the line between the real and the artificial in the world of entertainment. The AI actor theory did not emerge from thin air. It was sparked by the sharp eyes of dedicated fans who watch Hallmark movies with an almost forensic level of attention. The catalyst was a specific and repeated observation made across multiple films in the 2025 lineup. A fan, posting on a popular movie forum, pointed out that they had spotted what appeared to be the exact same background extra in two entirely different Christmas movies. This was not simply a case of the same actor being hired for two roles. The extra was wearing the identical outfit, the same distinctive red scarf, the same dark wool coat, and the same cozy hat in both appearances, despite the films having different lead actors and supposedly different settings. This observation quickly gained traction as other fans went back to check for themselves, and soon more examples began to surface. The Scarf Lady, as she became known, seemed to be a recurring silent resident in the cinematic universe of Hallmark's 2025 Christmas. For many, the most logical explanation was not a simple coincidence. The guess that electrified the fan community was that Hallmark was not hiring the same person repeatedly. Instead, they were reusing a pre-made high-quality digital model of an extra. This would explain why her appearance, down to the last detail of her wardrobe, was absolutely identical across different productions. She was not an actor, she was a reusable digital asset. The theory was bolstered by the perceived perfection of these recurring extras. They never looked at the camera, they always moved with a natural but unobtrusive gait, and they blended into the background flawlessly. To some, this perfection was suspicious. It felt less like the sometimes awkward reality of managing a large group of human extras and more like the controlled precision of a computer simulation. The reuse of the exact same wardrobe was the smoking gun. While it is common for actors to work on multiple projects, it is highly unusual for them to be costumed identically unless it is a deliberate creative choice, which seemed unlikely for a random background character. The AI model theory provided a neat and technologically savvy explanation for this strange anomaly. This single spark, the appearance of the Scarf Lady, was all it took to ignite a firestorm of speculation about deepfakes and digital actors. It was a tangible, visual piece of evidence that people could see for themselves, making the theory feel much more concrete than the more abstract claims about AI scriptwriting. The conversation quickly expanded from background extras to other potential uses of the technology. If they could create a background character, what else could they do? The mystery of the recurring extra became the cornerstone of the AI actor theory, a compelling anomaly that seemed to point directly towards a quiet but significant technological revolution happening just out of focus in our favourite holiday films. While the theory of the Scarf Lady being a digital ghost in the machine is a captivating one, the reality is far more practical and much more indicative of how the television industry operates. The truth behind the recurring extra has nothing to do with deepfakes or AI-generated actors. Instead, it is a simple matter of production, efficiency, and location shooting. Hallmark, like many production companies that produce high-volume content, often shoots multiple films back-to-back or even simultaneously in the same locations. The charming small towns that serve as the backdrop are often real towns, frequently in Canada, that are rented out for weeks or months at a time. During this period, the production company will hire a pool of local residents to work as background extras for all films being shot in that block. These extras are often given a basic winter wardrobe by the costume department, which they wear across different filming days for different movies to maintain consistent wintry look. This means the very same person wearing the same studio-provided coat and scarf can appear in the background of multiple unrelated films. They are not a digital asset being reused. They are a real local person who happened to be booked for several days of work, wearing the same costume for continuity within production. This practice is a perfect example of budget efficiency in action. It is far more cost effective to hire reliable local extras for an entire filming period than to cast new people for every single movie. Similarly, providing stock winter costumes is cheaper and easier than asking dozens of extras to bring their own, which could lead to continuity errors or outfits that don't fit the film's specific aesthetic. What sharp-eyed fans interpreted as advanced futuristic technology was, in fact, a sign of something much more mundane, smart, practical production logistics designed to make limited budgets stretch as far as possible. So while AI actors is a fascinating glimpse into a potential future, it is not the present reality for Hallmark. That being said, AI for crowd duplication is a real technique used in other parts of film industry, particularly for massive blockbuster films that need to depict huge armies or stadium-sized crowds. This technology can take a small group of real extras and digitally multiply them to fill a large space. However, this is typically used for wide, indistinct shots where individual faces aren't clear. Hallmark, with its focus on intimate, small-town settings, has little need for such technology and has never confirmed its use. The Scarf Lady was not an AI, just a hard-working extra and a testament to clever budgeting. Moving beyond the creation of scripts and actors, we arrive at another compelling theory that focuses on the very structure of the story itself. This theory posits that Hallmark is using a sophisticated AI not to write the dialogue, but to act as the master architect of the entire plot. The idea is that the network is leveraging the vast amounts of viewer data collected by streaming platforms and its own cable channel to predict exactly what the audience wants to see and when they want to see it. This AI, the theory suggests, analyses engagement metrics on a second-by-second basis to determine the perfect moments for key plot points to occur. According to this theory, the AI story architect would know the precise minute to introduce the romantic rival to create maximum tension. It would be able to calculate the optimal scene for the almost kiss to keep viewers hooked. It would even determine the exact point in the third act where the central misunderstanding should happen, followed by the most emotionally satisfying moment for the grand romantic resolution. In this scenario, the human writers are still involved, but they are no longer in full creative control. Instead, they are tasked with filling in the narrative blanks of a rigid, data-driven structure that has been predetermined by an algorithm to guarantee the highest possible viewer retention. This theory transforms the art of storytelling into a science of engagement optimization. It imagines a system where creative intuition is replaced by predictive analytics. Every plot twist, every emotional high and low is no longer the result of a writer's gut feeling or a director's artistic vision, but a cold, calculated decision based on a mountain of data about past viewing habits. The AI would essentially be reverse engineering the perfect emotional roller coaster, building a story structure that is mathematically designed to keep eyeballs glued to the screen. The goal would be to eliminate the risk of a boring part of the movie, ensuring a constant stream of optimized emotional stimuli. This idea is particularly seductive because it feels like a natural extension of the way many digital media companies already operate. We know that streaming giants analyze our viewing habits to recommend content, and that social media platforms use algorithms to decide what to show us in our feeds. The theory of the AI story architect simply applies this same logic to the creative process itself. It suggests that Hallmark has taken the final step, moving from merely recommending content based on data to actively shaping the content itself with data. It presents a vision of a feedback loop where our own collective viewing behaviour is used to create the very stories we are about to watch, raising fascinating questions about creativity and free will in the digital age. The theory of the AI story architect is deeply rooted in our modern media landscape. Its existence is a direct consequence of streaming services rising and data-centric approaches they popularized. Platforms like Netflix, Disney+, Amazon Prime Video revolutionized how we watch content and how it's evaluated. These services have access to unprecedented user data. They know when you press play, when you pause, what scenes you rewind, at what point you abandon. This information is incredibly valuable, providing detailed viewer engagement maps. Fans being savvy media, consumers are aware, data collection happens. They've seen articles and documentaries about streaming analytics, making show renewal decisions. This awareness forms fertile ground for the AI theory. Fans imagined Hallmark taking data analysis to logical conclusion. If viewers drop off at 45 minutes, why not feed AI that information and engineer plot twists at minute 44? The theory draws strength from perceived pacing, perfection in 2025 movies. Narrative beats seem to land with unnerving precision. The introduction of conflict, the moment of comic relief, the romantic breakthrough, all felt timed too perfectly, as if designed by machine rather than crafted by human. This feeling, combined with data analytics knowledge, created compelling narrative. Story was no longer just story, it was structured product. Designed from market research and engagement metrics, AI was the perfect tool to translate raw data into flawless narrative structure. This reflects broader cultural anxiety about data influencing our behavior. We're accustomed to seeing data-driven advertisements and personalized news feeds. This methodology applying to storytelling art feels like natural progression, though unsettling. It taps into fear that organic, messy, and intuitive creative processes are being replaced by sterile scientific approaches. The AI story architect theory provides powerful metaphor for this shift, framing Hallmark movies as canary in coal mine for future where entertainment is perfectly tailored, predictable, devoid of human spontaneity. Once again, we must apply a dose of reality to this captivating theory. While it is absolutely true that Hallmark, like any modern media company, tracks viewing trends and analyses audience data, the way this information is used is far less granular and controlling than the AI architect theory suggests. The data is not used to dictate plot beats within a single script. Instead, it is used on a much broader, more strategic level. This market research helps the network make big picture decisions for planning future seasons. For example, if data shows that movies featuring protagonists who are bakers are significantly more popular than those featuring florists, the network might greenlight more bakery-themed scripts for the following year. This is a fundamental difference. The data informs long-term strategy, not real-time creative choices. It helps executives understand what general themes, settings, and character archetypes are resonating most with their audience. This is not a new phenomenon. Television networks have been using audience research focus groups and ratings data for decades to guide their programming. The new technology has simply made this process more precise and immediate. However, once a script is commissioned, the development of its plot, pacing, and emotional arc remains firmly in the hands of the human creative team, the writer, the director, and the producers. The art of storytelling, particularly in a genre as emotionally driven as romance, relies on elements that cannot be easily quantified by data. It relies on an intuitive understanding of subtext chemistry and the subtle rhythms of human interaction. A director knows how to let a quiet, emotional moment breathe, allowing the audience to feel the weight of a scene. A writer knows how to craft dialogue that reveals character through what is left unsaid. These are creative decisions based on empathy and experience, not on an analysis of viewer retention graphs. An AI might be able to identify that a conflict is needed, but it cannot understand the nuanced human reasons for that conflict or the most authentic way for it to be resolved. Therefore, the theory of the AI story architect crumbles under the practical realities of the creative process. While AI might be used to help organise and analyse the market research data, making it easier for human executives to spot trends, it is not the one making the creative decisions. The pacing of a story, the timing of a plot twist, and the emotional journey of the characters are still crafted by people. These elements are debated in writers' rooms, refined on set, and perfected in the editing suite by professionals who have dedicated their lives to the art of telling a good story. The human touch remains the most critical ingredient, and no algorithm has yet been invented that can replicate the power of genuine creative intuition. Our final major theory shifts the focus from the conceptual stages of writing and plotting to the final technical stages of post-production. This theory is perhaps the one with the strongest connection to reality, but it has been exaggerated in the minds of many fans. The claim is that the use of AI-powered editing tools is making Hallmark movies look too polished and technically perfect, to the point where they are losing the cozy, slightly imperfect charm that gave them their signature human feel. Fans who subscribe to this theory point to the flawless visuals of the 2025 movies as evidence of a process that has become overly automated, sacrificing warmth for precision. These viewers argue that the very imperfections of older films were part of their appeal. A slightly grainy image, a lighting setup that was not perfectly balanced in every single shot, or snowfall that sometimes looked a little fake. These were the hallmarks of a production made by human hands on a limited budget. They gave the films a relatable, almost homespun quality. In contrast, the new movies feel, to them, sterile. The pristine snow, the perfectly colour-corrected scenes where every frame glows with the same warm light, and the seamless digital effects create a look that is undeniably beautiful, but, in their view, emotionally distant. It is a perfection that feels artificial. It is easy to see why people would attribute this heightened level of polish to AI automation. The precision and consistency across dozens of films seem almost impossible to achieve through purely manual means. When every snowflake falls perfectly and every Christmas light twinkles with the exact same intensity, it is natural to assume that a machine is controlling the final image. The jump in visual quality was so noticeable that AI seemed like the only plausible explanation. The theory suggests that editors are no longer making nuanced scene-by-scene adjustments, but are instead applying powerful AI filters that automatically perfect the footage, stripping it of its organic texture in the process. This theory touches on a classic debate in art, the conflict between technical perfection and authentic soul. Is it possible for something to be so perfect that it no longer feels real? For a portion of the Hallmark audience, the answer is a resounding yes. They believe the network's embrace of AI editing tools has come at a cost. In their pursuit of a flawless cinematic look, they have inadvertently scrubbed away the very visual quirks that made the movies feel so comforting and genuine. The theory of AI editing overkill is not just about technology. It is a lament for a perceived loss of authenticity, a feeling that the human touch is being erased, one perfectly rendered pixel at a time. Having meticulously dismantled the most sensational fan theories, it is now time to pivot from fiction to fact. We have seen the wild speculation about AI, screenwriters and digital actors, but the real story of artificial intelligence in filmmaking is, in many ways, far more practical and intriguing. We must now pull back the curtain for good and explore how AI actually fits into the complex, multifaceted process of creating a movie in 2025. This is not a tale of creative replacement or a hostile takeover by sentient machines. Instead, it is the story of how a powerful new set of tools is being integrated into the filmmaker's arsenal, quietly revolutionizing the craft in ways that are often invisible to the audience but essential to modern production. The most crucial concept to grasp is that in the world of professional filmmaking, AI is overwhelmingly viewed and utilized as a tool, not as a creator. It does not possess the creative spark, the emotional intuition, or the life experience that is fundamental to storytelling. Its purpose is not to originate ideas, but to support the humans who do. Think of AI in the same way you would think of any other major technological advancement in cinematic history. Consider the invention of the Steadicam, a device that stabilizes the camera to create smooth flowing shots. The Steadicam doesn't decide where the camera should go or what it should look at. It simply helps the human camera operator achieve their intended vision more effectively. AI functions in much the same way. This distinction is vital. The narrative of AI replacing writers, directors, and actors is born from a misunderstanding of where its true strengths lie. Artificial intelligence excels at tasks that are data intensive, repetitive, and bound by clear, logical rules. It can analyze vast data sets, identify patterns, and automate time-consuming processes with incredible speed and precision. In filmmaking, this translates to helping with tasks like organizing schedules, processing visual data for color correction, or cleaning up background noise from an audio track. These are the mechanical, often unglamorous jobs that are essential to production but are not in themselves creative acts. The AI handles the how, freeing up the human artist to focus on the why. So, as we delve into the specific applications of AI in the subsequent sections, remember this central theme. We are not talking about a ghost in the machine that is whispering stories into a producer's ear. We are talking about sophisticated software that helps an editor work faster, a scheduler build a more efficient plan, and a visual effects artist create a more believable snowfall. The real story of AI's role at Hallmark and across the industry is one of augmentation, not automation. It is about providing human creators with more powerful instruments to help them bring their festive, heartwarming visions to life, ensuring that the magic you see on screen is not only heartfelt, but also delivered with a level of polish and efficiency that modern audiences have come to expect. While the theory of a master algorithm writing entire scripts from scratch is pure fiction, artificial intelligence has indeed found a small but growing role in the earliest stages of script development. This role is not one of an author, but rather that of a sophisticated creative assistant or an indefatigable research intern. For writers working under tight deadlines to produce a high volume of content, as is common in the world of television movies, AI tools can be an invaluable aid for brainstorming and overcoming the dreaded writer's block. It can help generate ideas and options that a writer can then curate, adapt, and build upon, saving precious time in the initial conceptual phase. For a writer tasked with creating a new Hallmark Christmas movie, this might involve using an AI prompt to generate lists of potential character occupations that fit the small town aesthetic. A simple query like, list 50 charming, small town professions for a romantic lead, could yield suggestions from artisanal chandler to heritage pine tree farmer, sparking an idea the writer might not have considered. Similarly, AI can be used to brainstorm festive settings or potential comedic mishaps. A writer could ask for 10 ways a city slicker could hilariously fail at country Christmas traditions, and receive a list that includes everything from disastrously attempting to chop down a Christmas tree to accidentally entering a fiercely competitive gingerbread house competition. Beyond brainstorming, some writers use AI tools for the delicate process of dialogue polishing. This does not mean the AI is writing the conversation, but rather that it is offering suggestions for improvement. A writer might input a line of dialogue that feels slightly awkward or clunky and ask the AI to suggest several alternative phrasings. The tool can also be used to check the pacing of a scene, analysing the rhythm of the dialogue to ensure it flows naturally. However, every single suggestion is filtered through the writer's own creative judgment. The AI might provide 5 options, but it is the human writer who decides which one, if any, best captures the character's voice and the emotional tone. This brings us to a crucial myth-busting point. there is currently no AI system that is making the core creative decisions. It is not deciding that the protagonist's long-lost childhood sweetheart should reappear just as she is about to accept a promotion back in the city. It is not determining the symbolic meaning of a rediscovered family ornament. The role of AI in the writer's room is more akin to having an infinitely patient intern who can generate endless lists of options and check for grammatical consistency. Much of what it produces might be ignored or deleted, but occasionally it can provide a small spark that helps the human creator build a warmer, brighter fire. Section 3. The blueprint for magic AI in pre-production planning. Before a single frame of a film is shot, a colossal amount of planning must take place. This phase, known as pre-production, is a logistical labyrinth of scheduling, budgeting, and coordination. It is in this highly analytical and data-driven environment that artificial intelligence has become an exceptionally powerful and valuable tool. Making a movie is kind of like launching a small temporary company, and for a network like Hallmark that produces dozens of films each year, efficiency in pre-production is not just a luxury, it is an absolute necessity. AI-powered software can process the thousands of variables involved in a film shoot and find optimal solutions that would be nearly impossible for a human to calculate alone. One of the most significant applications is in scheduling optimization. A film shoot is a complex puzzle involving actor, availability, location permits, crew hours, equipment rental, and even unpredictable factors like the weather. AI can analyze all of these constraints simultaneously to create the most efficient and cost-effective shooting schedule possible. For instance, it can group all scenes at a specific location, like the town's charming cafe, to be shot together, regardless of where they appear in the script, minimizing company moves. It can also integrate long-range weather forecasts to schedule outdoor scenes on days that are most likely to be sunny, or in Hallmark's case, appropriately overcast for that perfect wintry feel. Budgeting is another area where AI provides a critical advantage. Creating a film on a tight television movie budget requires meticulous financial tracking. Modern budgeting software enhanced with AI can do more than just track expenses, it can predict them. By analyzing data from previous similar productions, the AI can flag potential areas of overspending before they even happen. For example, if it knows that filming in a specific city in December typically incurs higher than average costs for transportation due to holiday traffic, it can automatically adjust the budget and alert the line producer. This predictive capability is vital when managing the finances of 3 or 4 Christmas movies being filmed in the same month. This move towards AI-assisted planning is all about mitigating risk and maximizing resources. The traditional method of planning a film shoot relied heavily on the experience and intuition of a few key individuals, like the assistant director and unit production manager. While that human experience remains invaluable, AI provides them with a tool that can process more information and run more simulations than any human could. It allows the production team to build a stronger, more resilient blueprint for the film, ensuring that when the cameras finally start rolling, the entire operation runs as smoothly and efficiently as possible, leaving more time and money for what truly matters, capturing the magic on screen. Section 4. Scouting the perfect Christmas AI-enhanced location finding. A quintessential element of any Hallmark movie is its idyllic setting. The charming small town with its quaint main street, cozy bookshops, and snow-dusted gazebo is as much a character as the romantic leads. Finding these perfect locations is a critical part of the pre-production process, and it is another area where artificial intelligence is beginning to offer remarkable assistance. Traditionally, location scouting is a time-consuming, labor-intensive job that involves poring over photographs, making countless phone calls, and driving hundreds of miles to physically visit potential sites. AI is streamlining this process, allowing crews to find that perfect slice of Christmas magic with greater speed and accuracy. Modern location scouting databases are now being enhanced with AI-powered search capabilities. A location manager can move beyond simple keyword searches like small town and use more descriptive, nuanced queries. They could, for instance, search for a main street with pre-1950s architecture, wide pavements suitable for a Christmas market, and a clear view of a church steeple. The AI can analyze vast libraries of geotagged images and satellite data to identify locations that match these complex criteria. This allows the scouting team to create a highly qualified shortlist of potential towns before ever having to get in a car, saving an enormous amount of time and resources. Perhaps the most futuristic application in this area is the use of AI for virtual scouting and environmental simulation. Using a combination of satellite imagery, street-level photography, and three-dimensional mapping data, AI can create a digital twin of a potential location. The production team can then virtually walk through the town on a computer screen. More impressively, the AI can simulate how that location will look under different conditions. It can predict how a town square will be lit at sunrise versus sunset, or, crucially for Hallmark, it can generate a preview of what the location will look like under a blanket of fresh snow, even if the team is scouting it in the middle of July. This allows the director and cinematographer to plan their shots with incredible precision long before they arrive on set. This technology does not replace the need for a final in-person visit, but it makes the entire process vastly more efficient. Instead of scouting dozens of unsuitable locations, the team can focus their physical efforts on the top 2 or 3 candidates that the AI has identified as being a near-perfect match. For a production entity like Hallmark, which needs to find numerous perfect Christmas towns every single year, this AI-enhanced approach is a game changer. It helps them discover new and unique locations that fit their brand aesthetic, ensuring that the charming snow globe worlds their stories inhabit continue to feel both fresh and comfortingly familiar to the audience. Section 5. The Intelligent Eye AI's role on the film set. Once pre-production is complete and the cameras begin to roll, the focus shifts to capturing the performances and moments that will make up the film. While the director's creative vision and the actors' performances are paramount, AI is beginning to find a place on the set itself, acting as an intelligent second pair of eyes that helps the crew work more efficiently and avoid costly mistakes. These on-set applications are subtle and designed to support, not supplant, the human crew. They handle technical monitoring tasks, freeing up the director and cinematographer to concentrate on the more artistic elements, performance, framing, and emotion. One emerging use is in AI-assisted camera systems. Some modern professional cameras are now equipped with AI features that can help automate complex technical settings. For example, an AI can help with autofocus tracking, intelligently identifying the actors' faces and keeping them perfectly sharp even as they move through a complex scene. More advanced systems can even assist with lighting and exposure. The cinematographer can set a desired mood or look for a scene, for instance, a warm candlelit glow, and the AI in the camera will make subtle, real-time adjustments to the exposure and color balance to maintain that look consistently. Even as ambient lighting conditions change, this saves valuable time that would otherwise be spent on retakes. Another incredibly useful on-set application is for automated continuity checks. Continuity errors like a character's scarf changing colour between shots or a half-empty mug of cocoa suddenly becoming full again are the bane of any film production. Traditionally, preventing these errors is the sole responsibility of a dedicated script supervisor who must keep meticulous notes. Now, AI-powered software can assist in this process. The system can analyze the live feed from the camera and compare it to footage from the previous take, instantly flagging any potential inconsistencies in wardrobe props or set dressing. This digital script supervisor provides an extra layer of quality control, helping to catch small mistakes before they become big problems in the editing room. These on-set AI tools are all geared towards one primary goal: maximizing the value of the time spent filming. On a film set, time is the most expensive commodity. Every minute spent adjusting a light or correcting a continuity error is a minute not spent capturing a great performance. By offloading some of these highly technical repetitive monitoring tasks to an AI, the human crew can work more effectively. The director can stay focused on the actors, the cinematographer can focus on the artistry of the shot, and the production can stay on its tight schedule. It is about using intelligent automation to ensure that the human creativity at the heart of the set can flourish without unnecessary technical distractions. After the filming is complete, all the raw footage is taken into post-production where the film is truly assembled. It is here, in the quiet, darkened rooms of the editing suite, that AI has arguably had its most significant and widespread impact. One of the most critical steps in this phase is color grading, the process of adjusting the color and tone of the footage to create a specific mood and a consistent visual style. This is what gives Hallmark movies their signature warm, golden and festive glow. AI-powered tools have revolutionized this process, allowing for a level of consistency and efficiency that was previously unimaginable. Traditionally, color grading was a painstaking manual process. A colorist would have to go through the film shot by shot, meticulously adjusting parameters to ensure that footage filmed on different days in different locations and with different cameras all looked like it belonged in the same cohesive world. This required an incredible amount of skill and time. Now AI can automate much of the foundational work. A colorist can grade a key hero scene to establish the desired look, and then an AI tool can analyze that grade and automatically apply a similar look across all the other scenes in the film. It can intelligently match skin tones, balance highlights and shadows, and ensure the color palette remains consistent from beginning to end. This is precisely why the visuals in the 2025 Hallmark movies look so flawlessly consistent, sparking some of the fan theories. That perfect, uniform warmth from scene to scene is not necessarily a sign of a less human touch, but rather a sign of a more powerful tool. The AI handles the laborious task of shot matching, freeing up the human colorist to focus on the more artistic, nuanced aspects of the grade. They can spend their time fine-tuning the look of a pivotal emotional moment or adding a subtle touch of coolness to a scene to underscore a moment of conflict rather than spending hours just trying to make the basics match up. Ultimately, this technology allows productions like Hallmark to achieve a high-end cinematic look on a television budget and schedule. It democratizes the ability to produce a visually polished and coherent film. The reason the snow looks equally magical, whether the story is set in Vermont or on a backlot in Vancouver, is because AI-assisted tools can ensure that the color temperature, brightness, and saturation of the whites are perfectly matched across every single shot. It is not about removing the artist from the process. It is about giving the artist a tool that can execute their vision with a level of perfection and consistency that human hands alone would find it incredibly difficult to achieve. Beyond colour and tone, artificial intelligence plays a massive role in the creation of modern visual effects, especially the kind of subtle, reality-enhancing effects that are prevalent in Hallmark movies. When fans noticed that the 2025 movies featured flawlessly gentle snowfall in every outdoor scene, they were right to suspect that technology was at play. Creating believable snow on screen is notoriously difficult and expensive. Relying on real weather is impossible, and using physical snow machines on set can be messy, difficult to control, and costly. This is where AI-powered visual effects comes to the rescue, allowing filmmakers to create the perfect winter wonderland digitally in post-production. Modern visual effects software uses AI algorithms to generate hyper-realistic environmental effects. An artist can now add layers of gentle snowfall to a scene that was filmed on a clear day with just a few clicks. The AI is sophisticated enough to understand the physics of the scene. It can make the snow realistically accumulate on surfaces like rooftops and tree branches, and it can even simulate how snowflakes would swirl in the wind. This gives the effects a natural, organic look that is a world away from the simple, repetitive snow filters of the past. This is how Hallmark can guarantee a picture-perfect white Christmas in every single movie, regardless of the actual weather conditions during the shoot. AI is also used for a process known as digital cleanup, which involves removing unwanted elements from a shot. This could be anything from erasing a modern car that accidentally drove through the background of a scene set in a timeless small town, to removing the safety wires used in a stunt, or even painting out a microphone that dipped into the top of the frame. AI-powered tools can make this process incredibly fast and seamless. The software can intelligently analyze the surrounding pixels and automatically fill in the blank space left by the removed object, creating a flawless patch that is invisible to the viewer. This saves countless hours of meticulous, frame-by-frame manual work by visual effects artists. For a production company like Hallmark, these AI-powered visual effects tools are invaluable. They allow the network to maintain its signature high-quality magical aesthetic without the prohibitive costs associated with traditional large-scale visual effects. They can affordably enhance the holiday atmosphere by adding more twinkling lights to a Christmas tree, creating a more romantic-looking foggy morning, or ensuring that every outdoor scene has that perfect, gentle flurry of snow. This is one of the clearest examples of AI being used not to tell the story, but to enhance the world in which the story takes place, ensuring the final product perfectly aligns with the audience's cozy, festive expectations. While filmmaking is often considered a visual medium, sound is arguably just as important in creating a film's emotional landscape and immersive quality. The post-production of sound is a complex art form, and it is yet another area where AI has become an indispensable tool for achieving professional, polished results, especially on a tight schedule. Raw audio recorded on a film set is often far from perfect. It can be plagued by background noise like humming refrigerators, distant traffic, the rustle of clothing, or even the sound of the camera crew breathing. Traditionally, cleaning up this audio was a difficult and time-consuming task for sound editors. AI-powered audio tools have completely transformed this process. Software can now use machine learning to intelligently identify and isolate the human voice from all other sounds in a recording. With a single command, a sound editor can instruct the AI to remove all background noise, leaving only the actor's clean, crisp dialogue. It can even perform more complex tasks, like reducing the echo or reverb of a room to make the dialogue sound more intimate and clear. This is why the dialogue in modern films often sounds so pristine. It is not just because of better microphones, but because of the powerful AI cleanup tools being used in post-production. Furthermore, AI can assist in the process of dialogue replacement, or ADR, which stands for Automated Dialogue Replacement. Sometimes a line of dialogue recorded on set is unusable due to a technical glitch or an external noise like a passing aeroplane. In the past, the actor would have to be brought back into a recording studio to re-record the line, a process that can be both expensive and difficult to schedule. New AI tools can now clone an actor's voice from their other clean dialogue in the film. A sound editor can then type the muffled line, and the AI will generate a new, clean version of that line in the actor's own voice, which can be seamlessly edited into the film. While still used cautiously, this technology is rapidly improving. For Hallmark movies, where clear, heartfelt dialogue is absolutely central to the story, these tools are a blessing. They ensure that every whispered confession and every joyful declaration of love is heard without any distracting background noise. The AI helps to create an intimate and immersive soundscape where the audience can focus completely on the emotional journey of the characters. It is another invisible but vital application of technology working behind the scenes to polish the final product and ensure that the human performances, both visual and auditory, are presented in the best possible light, allowing the heart of the story to shine through without interruption. The role of artificial intelligence in filmmaking does not end when the movie is finished. In fact, it plays an increasingly significant part in the final, crucial stages of marketing and distribution, helping the studio ensure that its newly created holiday movie finds its audience. Once a film is complete, the challenge is to promote it effectively to the right people. AI is now being used to make this process more efficient and targeted than ever before. This is particularly important for a network like Hallmark, which releases a large slate of new films in a very short window and needs to get the word out about each one. One of the most interesting applications is in the creation of promotional materials like trailers and social media clips. Analysing an entire 2-hour film to find the most exciting, romantic and engaging moments to include in a 30-second trailer can be a time-consuming task for a human editor. AI-powered software can now accelerate this process. The AI can be trained to analyse the entire film and automatically identify scenes with specific characteristics, such as high emotional intensity, witty dialogue, or key romantic moments like a first kiss. It can then present a curated selection of these highlight clips to a human editor who can then use their creative judgment to assemble the final, compelling trailer much more quickly. AI also plays a central role in predicting demand and planning distribution strategy. By analysing vast amounts of past viewership data, social media trends, and even demographic information, AI models can predict which types of storylines, actors, or themes will resonate most strongly in specific markets or on specific platforms. For example, the data might suggest that a movie with a more comedic, family-oriented plot will perform better on linear cable television in the early evening, while a more purely romantic story might be more successful on the network streaming service, where viewers can watch it on demand. This data-driven approach helps Hallmark place its content where it is most likely to succeed. Finally, as hinted at in the fan theories, AI is the driving force behind targeted advertising and recommendation engines. While it is not personalizing the movie itself, it is personalizing the marketing for it. An AI can help create multiple versions of an ad and then show them to different audience segments. A viewer who typically watches romance dramas might be shown a trailer that emphasizes the heartfelt love story, while a viewer who enjoys comedies might see a version that highlights the film's funny mishaps and witty banter. This ensures that the marketing message is as relevant as possible to each potential viewer, maximizing the chances that they will tune in for the premiere, guided to the perfect holiday movie by a trail of algorithmically placed breadcrumbs. As we survey the real-world applications of artificial intelligence in filmmaking, a clear picture emerges that stands in stark contrast to the sensationalized fan theories. For a network like Hallmark, the integration of AI is not driven by a desire to replace human creativity, but by the pragmatic need to solve a fundamental production challenge: how to create dozens of high-quality, visually polished movies every single year on a television budget and schedule. The sheer volume of content the network produces for its Countdown to Christmas event is staggering, and AI provides the tools necessary to meet this incredible demand while maintaining the consistent brand identity that fans expect. AI achieves this by streamlining the most mechanical and time-consuming aspects of the production pipeline. It accelerates pre-production planning, automates the tedious parts of post-production like color matching and noise removal, and enhances the final product with cost-effective visual effects. Each of these applications saves countless hours of labor, which in turn saves a significant amount of money. This efficiency is not about cutting corners on creativity, it is about reallocating resources. The time and money saved by using an AI scheduling tool or an automated color corrector can be invested back into the things that truly define the film's quality: hiring talented actors, securing beautiful locations, or allowing for an extra day of shooting to get a pivotal scene just right. Crucially, the executives, producers and creators at Hallmark are keenly aware that the Hallmark feel is their most valuable asset. This intangible quality, a mixture of warmth, sincerity, comfort and heartfelt emotion, is the core of their brand. They understand that this feeling does not come from a perfectly rendered snowflake or a flawlessly balanced audio track. It comes from the human element. It is born in the writer's room from a shared understanding of romance and family. It is brought to life on set by actors who create genuine chemistry, and it is shaped by a director who intuitively knows how to pace an emotional moment. No AI, no matter how sophisticated, can currently replicate that authentic emotional core. Therefore, the use of AI at Hallmark is a carefully balanced equation. The technology is embraced where it can increase efficiency and polish, but it is kept at arm's length from the central creative process. AI is the tool that helps build the beautiful, festive frame, but the picture inside that frame, the story of two people finding love at Christmas, remains a profoundly human creation. The real magic of a Hallmark movie still comes from people. The technology simply helps to ensure that this magic can be produced consistently and delivered to the millions of fans who eagerly await it each year, proving that efficiency and heart do not have to be mutually exclusive. In the intricate craft of filmmaking, a fundamental distinction exists between two types of work, the mechanical and the creative. This division is the essential key to understanding why, despite the incredible advancements in artificial intelligence, Hallmark, and indeed all story-driven enterprises, will always need a human heart at their core. Mechanical work involves tasks that are precise, logical, and repeatable. It is the domain of data processing, technical optimization, and pattern recognition. This is where AI thrives. It can schedule a film shoot with flawless efficiency, balance color tones across 1,000 shots, or remove unwanted background noise from an audio file with a precision that a human could never match. These tasks, while vital, are the hardware of filmmaking. They build the vessel, but do not provide its precious cargo. Creative work, on the other hand, is the soul of the endeavor. It is ambiguous, intuitive, and deeply rooted in the messy, beautiful, and often illogical tapestry of human experience. It is about asking why, not just how. Why do these two specific characters fall in love? What unspoken fear is driving the protagonist's reluctance to return home? How can a simple glance convey a universe of longing and regret? These are not questions that can be answered by analysing data points or recognising patterns in previous scripts. They require empathy, memory, and a profound understanding of the human condition. This is the domain of the artist, the space where algorithms falter and the human touch becomes indispensable. The great misunderstanding at the heart of the AI takeover theories is the failure to recognise this crucial line. The rumours imagine AI stepping over the threshold from the mechanical to the creative, from being a tool to being the artist. But the truth is, AI is a master of syntax, not semantics. It can learn the structure of a Hallmark love story, the meet cute, the conflict, the resolution with astonishing accuracy. It can assemble the component parts in the correct order, like a factory worker on an assembly line. However, it cannot understand the meaning behind those parts. It cannot feel the heartbreak of the third act misunderstanding or the genuine warmth of the final reconciliation. It can only mimic the shape of emotion, not its substance. Therefore, the relationship between AI and human creativity in filmmaking is not one of competition, but of symbiosis. AI handles the mechanical burdens, freeing human creators from the tedious and the technical, allowing them to devote more of their energy to the purely creative aspects of their work. An editor, freed from the hours of manual color matching, has more time to experiment with the pacing of a scene to heighten its emotional impact. A director, confident that a digital assistant is monitoring for continuity errors, can focus entirely on coaxing a more vulnerable and authentic performance from an actor. The hardware supports the heart, allowing it to beat stronger and more clearly than ever before. At the very genesis of any film lies the script, the foundational blueprint from which all else is built, and it is here in the act of writing that the need for human creativity is most acute and undeniable. While an AI can be trained to mimic the structure and tropes of 1,000 love stories, it fundamentally lacks the one ingredient that gives a story its soul-lived experience. A human writer does not just assemble plot points, they draw upon a deep well of personal memories, emotions and observations. They know what genuine heartbreak feels like, not because they have analysed a data set of sad stories, but because they have felt it in their own lives. They understand the quiet joy of reconnecting with an old friend or the specific ache of nostalgia for a childhood home. This reservoir of authentic emotion is what allows a writer to craft dialogue that resonates with truth. An AI can generate grammatically correct and contextually appropriate sentences, but it cannot imbue them with the subtle layers of subtext, wit and vulnerability that make a conversation feel real. A human writer understands the power of a pause, the weight of an unspoken word, and the way people use humour to deflect from pain. They can write a line that seems simple on the surface, but carries a profound emotional undercurrent, a skill born from a lifetime of listening to and participating in the complex dance of human communication. This is the art of dialogue, and it is an art that remains far beyond the reach of any algorithm. Furthermore, Hallmark stories, for all their formulaic elements, are deeply embedded in cultural nuance and shared traditions. They revolve around the specific feelings associated with the holiday season, the sense of community, the importance of family, the magic of giving. A human writer understands these cultural touchstones from the inside out. They have their own memories of decorating a Christmas tree, of family gatherings filled with both love and tension, of the unique feeling of the first snowfall of the year. An AI can only ever have an outsider's view, processing these traditions as data points rather than as cherished, emotionally charged experiences. It can describe a tree lighting ceremony, but it cannot capture the genuine feeling of collective joy that it represents. Ultimately, a writer's job is not just to tell a story, but to make the audience care. This requires the ability to create characters who feel like real people with relatable flaws, believable motivations, and authentic emotional journeys. This act of creation is an act of empathy. The writer must be able to step into their character's shoes, to see the world through their eyes, and to feel what they feel. This empathetic leap is the very essence of human storytelling. It is the bridge that connects the creator to the audience, and it is a bridge that no machine, however intelligent, has yet learned how to build. The soul of the story will always require a human author. Beyond the surface level plot and dialogue, great storytelling operates on a deeper, more resonant frequency. This is the realm of subtext and symbolism, the unseen language that infuses a narrative with layers of meaning and emotional depth. It is a language that is spoken not in words but in gestures, objects and recurring motifs. Human writers, drawing from a lifetime of cultural and personal associations, are natural masters of this language. They intuitively understand how to use a simple object to represent a complex idea or a past trauma, creating a powerful emotional shorthand that enriches the viewer's experience without ever needing to be explicitly stated in the dialogue. Consider a classic Hallmark trope, the rediscovery of a single handmade ornament while decorating the Christmas tree. To an AI, this is simply a plot event. Character finds object. But a human writer understands its symbolic potential. That ornament can represent a lost parent, a forgotten childhood dream, or a past love that still lingers in the heart. The way the character holds it, the memories it triggers, and its eventual placement on the tree all become part of a silent, emotional narrative. This symbolic weight is not something that can be logically deduced from a dataset. It is crafted from an innate human understanding of how we attach meaning to the world around us. AI can't invent these symbols from a place of lived memory because it has no memory of its own. Subtext in dialogue is another area where the human touch is irreplaceable. It is the art of what is not being said. When a character says, "This town hasn't changed a bit," they might really be saying, "I'm afraid that I have changed too much." When a father tells his daughter, Be sure to wear your warm coat. The subtext might be a simple and heartfelt "I love you." This requires a sophisticated understanding of human psychology, of our tendency to hide our vulnerability behind mundane statements. An AI, which operates on the literal meaning of words, struggles to grasp this delicate interplay. It can generate a conversation, but it cannot easily craft a conversation where the most important things are communicated between the lines. This ability to weave in these subtle layers is what elevates a simple, formulaic story into something that feels profound and emotionally satisfying. It is what allows the audience to feel like they are discovering the deeper meaning for themselves rather than having it spoon-fed to them. This process of creating and interpreting symbolism is a uniquely human act tied to our shared cultural consciousness and our individual experiences. It is the poetry of storytelling, a language of the heart that algorithms are not yet equipped to speak. For a story to have a lasting echo, it needs a human writer to compose its silent, unseen music. If the writer provides the blueprint for the story, the director is the master builder who brings it to life. The director's role is a complex alchemy of technical knowledge, artistic vision, and most importantly, human management. While an AI camera might be able to perfectly frame a shot or track an actor's face, it can never replicate the most crucial function of a director, the ability to guide and shape a human performance in real time. A director is an emotional compass on set, constantly reading the room and making intuitive adjustments to steer the scene towards its intended emotional destination. They are the first audience, feeling the story as it unfolds. A key part of this is the ability to sense when a performance feels flat or inauthentic. A director can watch a take and know instinctively that something is missing. They can see a flicker of doubt in an actor's eyes or hear a false note in their delivery that an AI, monitoring only for technical parameters, would completely miss. The director can then step in and provide the specific note needed to unlock a more truthful performance. This might be a piece of advice, a shared memory, or a simple change in focus. This delicate, empathetic interaction between a director and an actor is the very heart of the filmmaking process, a human-to-human connection that technology cannot simulate. Furthermore, a director's job extends beyond the actors to the entire crew. They are the unifying force, the singular vision that everyone is working to serve. They communicate the desired mood to the cinematographer, the intended pace to the camera operator, and the emotional context to the sound mixer. This requires leadership, clear communication, and the ability to inspire a diverse group of artists and technicians to work together towards a common goal. This kind of collaborative leadership is a deeply human skill, reliant on trust, mutual respect, and a shared passion for the project. It is not a task that can be automated or delegated to a machine. Ultimately, a director's greatest tool is their own unique perspective on the world. Their personal taste, their life experiences, and their artistic sensibilities all inform the thousands of small decisions they make on set every day. These decisions, from the choice of a camera angle to the timing of a musical cue, are what give a film its distinctive personality and style. An AI can only ever execute instructions based on pre-existing data, creating something that is an amalgamation of what has come before. A human director can create something truly new, filtering the story through the irreplaceable lens of their own humanity, ensuring the final film is not just a product, but a piece of art. One of the most profound differences between human creativity and artificial intelligence lies in their relationship with the unexpected. AI systems are designed to follow patterns and adhere to the rules they have been given. They excel at producing predictable, consistent output based on the data they were trained on. Humans, on the other hand, have the remarkable ability to deviate from the plan, to embrace spontaneity, and to find magic in the unplanned moments. This capacity for improvisation and creative risk-taking is a vital source of a film's charm and authenticity, and honestly, it is something that an AI-driven process would struggle to accommodate. On a film set, some of the most memorable and charming moments are not found in the script. They happen spontaneously in the space between the written lines. It might be an actor-breaking character with a genuine infectious laugh that the director wisely decides to keep in the final cut. Or it could be a spontaneous hug between two co-stars that perfectly encapsulates their character's relationship in a way the script never could. Sometimes it's just a simple, unscripted glance that conveys more emotion than a page of dialogue. A human director has the intuition and flexibility to recognize the value of these happy accidents and incorporate them into the fabric of the film. This embrace of the unexpected also extends to creative risk-taking. AI, by its very nature, is risk-averse. It is programmed to find the most probable, statistically safest path to a successful outcome based on past data. It will always favor the well-trodden road. A human creator, however, can make a bold choice that breaks the formula. A writer might introduce a character who defies the typical Hallmark archetype, or a director might choose to shoot a pivotal scene in a stark, unconventional way to heighten its emotional impact. These risks do not always pay off, but when they do, they can lead to iconic moments that elevate the entire film and redefine the boundaries of the genre. This is a fundamental limitation of a purely data-driven creative model. If a system is only ever trained on what has worked in the past, it will be forever trapped in a loop of repetition, destined to produce increasingly polished but ultimately derivative versions of the same thing. True innovation requires the courage to try something new, to risk failure in the pursuit of something extraordinary. This willingness to step off the predictable path, to improvise and to take creative chances is a profoundly human trait. It is the engine of artistic evolution and the reason why, honestly, the future of storytelling will always need the unpredictable spark of human intuition. After the writer's crafted the words and the director has set the stage, it falls to the actors to breathe life into the characters and infuse the story with genuine emotion. This actor performance is perhaps the most visibly and undeniably human element of the entire filmmaking process. An actor does not simply recite lines from a script, they embody a character, creating a complex tapestry of thought, feeling, and behavior that convinces the audience that the person on screen is real. This transformation is a form of magic that relies on empathy, imagination, and a deep connection to the human experience. The core of an actor's craft is their ability to create authentic chemistry with their co-stars. This is especially crucial in a Hallmark romance, where the entire story hinges on the audience believing in the burgeoning love between the two leads. This on-screen chemistry is not something that can be programmed or simulated. It is a delicate, unpredictable reaction that occurs between two real people in a shared space. It is built from subtle cues, shared glances, synchronized breathing, the gentle touch of a hand that create a palpable connection the audience can feel. It is the intangible spark that makes us root for the couple and invest in their happiness. Furthermore, actors bring their own unique life experiences and emotional intelligence to their roles. They can interpret a line of dialogue in a way that the writer may not have even intended, adding new layers of meaning and complexity to their character. An actor who's experienced profound loss can bring a genuine sense of gravity to a scene about grief. An actor who remembers the thrill of a first love can infuse a romantic scene with a palpable sense of joy and vulnerability. This process of filtering the character through their own humanity is what makes a performance feel rich, nuanced, and unforgettable. While deepfake technology and AI-generated avatars can create a visually convincing image of a person, they cannot replicate the inner life that a human actor provides. An AI character can be programmed to smile, but it cannot convey the complex mix of hope and fear that lies behind a real person's smile in a life-changing moment. The image may be there, but the intent, the history, and the soul are missing. The magic of a great performance comes from the spark of life that only a human being can bring to the screen, a spark that no amount of code can ever truly ignite. The true artistry of an actor's performance often lies in the moments between the words. It is found in the landscape of the human face, in the thousands of tiny, fleeting muscle movements known as micro-expressions. A slight quiver of the lip, a momentary widening of the eyes, a faint furrowing of the brow. These are the subtle signals that betray a character's true inner state, often in direct contrast to the words they are speaking. This is the silent language of emotion, and it is a language that human beings are innately wired to both produce and understand. An actor's ability to control and deploy these micro-expressions is what makes a performance truly captivating. Hallmark chemistry, that elusive quality that makes a romance believable, lives and dies in these tiny, almost imperceptible details. It is the hopeful, nervous smile that flickers across a character's face before a first kiss. It is the brief pause and the subtle shift in a character's eyes just before they say, "I love you" for the first time, betraying the monumental weight of that confession. An AI can generate a photorealistic human face, and it can even be programmed to mimic basic expressions like smiling or frowning. However, it cannot replicate the complex, layered, and often contradictory storm of micro-expressions that flicker across a real human face in a moment of intense emotion. It can fake the image, but it cannot fake the authentic intent behind it. This authenticity is often amplified by the real-world relationships between the actors. The Hallmark channel frequently works with a recurring ensemble of actors who have known and worked with each other for years. This shared history builds a foundation of genuine familiarity, trust, and rapport that translates directly to the screen. When two actors who are genuinely friends play romantic leads, their on-screen interactions are often imbued with a natural ease and warmth that is incredibly difficult to fake. That comfortable banter, those easy smiles, and that shared laughter feel real because on some level they are. No AI, no matter how well programmed, can replicate the on-screen benefits of a decade of real-world friendship. Moreover, human actors possess an incredible ability to adapt and react to their scene partners in real time. A great performance is not delivered in a vacuum, it is a responsive dance. An actor will adjust their timing, their tone of voice, and even their body language based on the subtle cues they are receiving from their co-star. If one actor delivers a line with an unexpected touch of sadness, the other will instinctively respond with a corresponding sense of empathy. AI-generated characters, by contrast, can only respond in predictable ways based on their programming. They follow a script, whereas human actors live inside a moment, surprising and delighting each other and the audience in the process. The beloved Hallmark feels more than just a predictable plot or a happy ending. It's honestly, an all-encompassing atmosphere, a carefully crafted mood that envelops the viewer in a sense of warmth, comfort, and festive cheer. This atmosphere isn't the result of just one element, but rather the harmonious fusion of many creative choices, from the lighting and music to the pacing of the edit. And while AI can help to polish these individual components, the overall orchestration of the mood remains a profoundly human endeavour, guided by creative intuition rather than by cold, hard data. It's really the art of making a film feel a certain way. Consider the lighting of a scene. A director of photography doesn't just illuminate a room, they paint with light to evoke a specific emotion. The choice to use soft, warm golden light for a romantic dinner scene is an intuitive artistic decision designed to create a feeling of intimacy and safety. The use of cool blue-toned light for a moment of lonely reflection by a frosty window is meant to underscore a character's sense of isolation. While an AI can execute a command to make a scene warmer, it doesn't possess the artistic sensibility to know precisely which shade of gold will best capture the delicate feeling of new love. That really requires a human eye and a human heart. The same is true for the film's musical score and its emotional pacing. A composer and a director work together to create a score that not only complements the action but also guides the audience's emotional journey. They know when to introduce a gentle, hopeful melody and when to let a scene play out in poignant silence. In the editing room, a human editor makes thousands of intuitive decisions about pacing. An AI might see a climactic kiss as just another event in the script to be cut at a standard length. A human editor, however, knows to let the moment breathe. They'll hold the shot, building anticipation, allowing the audience to lean in and fully experience the emotional release of that long-awaited moment. Ultimately, this warmth factor that defines the Hallmark brand is a direct product of the people who make the films. It's the collective result of a writer's heartfelt intentions, a director's empathetic vision, an actor's genuine performance, and a crew's shared passion for creating something comforting and joyful. The warmth comes from the people on set laughing together between takes, from the editor who feels a surge of emotion while cutting a scene, and from the composer who writes a melody that gives them goosebumps. This warmth is the human fingerprint on the film, an authentic emotional residue that no algorithm can synthetically generate. At the end of the day, the enduring appeal of a Hallmark movie really lies in its ability to provide comfort. These films are a refuge, a dependable source of emotional reassurance in a world that is often complex and uncertain. The fundamental reason why these movies will always need human creativity is that true, lasting comfort is born from genuine human connection. We don't just watch these stories, we connect with them on an emotional level because we sense the presence of another human being on the other side of the screen sharing a story with us. This perceived connection is the invisible thread that ties the creator to the audience. An AI-generated story, no matter how technically perfect, would lack this essential element. It would be a story without a storyteller. When we watch a film crafted by people, we're subconsciously aware that the emotions on display, the love, the loss, the joy, originated from a fellow human who understands those feelings. We trust the emotional journey because we trust that it comes from an authentic place. A story generated by a machine, however, would feel like a hollow echo. It might hit all the right beats, but it would be missing the resonant frequency of shared human experience that's necessary for true emotional connection. This is why the Hallmark feel is so difficult to quantify and so impossible to automate. It's not a formula that can be reduced to a set of rules. It's the cumulative effect of hundreds of empathetic choices made by dozens of people, all working to create something that feels sincere. The warmth we feel is a reflection of the warmth that went into the film's creation. It's the echo of the writer's empathy, the director's passion, and the actor's vulnerability. We're not just responding to the story, we're responding to the humanity embedded within it. This is the secret ingredient that no algorithm can ever hope to replicate. Therefore, while artificial intelligence will undoubtedly continue to evolve and become an even more powerful tool in the filmmaker's toolbox, it will remain just that, a tool. It can help build the house, but it cannot make it a home. It can polish the image, but it cannot provide the soul. The need for comfort, for connection, and for stories that reaffirm our faith in love and community is a fundamental part of the human condition. And as long as that need exists, we will need human artists, writers, directors, and actors to tell those stories, ensuring that the heart of Hallmark continues to be, and will always be, profoundly and reassuringly human. Now that we've explored the realities of AI in filmmaking and reaffirmed the indispensable role of human creativity, we really have to turn our attention to one final, fascinating question. Why do these fan theories catch fire and spread so rapidly in the first place? Why does the idea of an AI-run Hallmark, despite the thinness of the evidence, resonate so powerfully with so many people? The answer is complex and has less to do with the specifics of television production or artificial intelligence and far more to do with the powerful currents of human psychology, cultural trends, and the very nature of our modern digital world. It's a perfect storm of factors that can turn a whisper of speculation into a roar of viral belief. The groundwork for these theories is laid by the very subject matter itself. As we've discussed, Hallmark movies are built upon a highly recognizable and beloved formula. Their predictable structure, recurring tropes, and consistent emotional tone are their greatest strengths. providing a reliable source of comfort for millions. However, this very predictability creates a hyper-aware audience. Fans are so intimately familiar with the story beats and the overall aesthetic that they become incredibly sensitive to even the smallest of changes. A slightly slicker editing style, a more polished visual quality or dialogue that feels just a touch too clean is immediately noticed, creating a sense of dissonance that demands an explanation. When something feels off, fans search for a reason, and a grand, technologically advanced theory is often more compelling than a mundane one. This inherent sensitivity within the fan base is then amplified by the architecture of the digital age. We live in an information ecosystem that is designed for speed and engagement, not necessarily for accuracy. A bold, sensational claim will always travel faster and further than a nuanced, carefully worded correction. The algorithms that govern our social media feeds are programmed to show us content that elicits a strong emotional reaction, and the idea of a secret AI takeover is far more emotionally charged than a discussion about evolving post-production techniques. This creates an environment where rumours are not just possible, they're actively encouraged and propagated by the very systems we use to communicate. In essence, the spread of these Hallmark AI theories isn't an isolated phenomenon, but a case study in how modern myths are born. It requires a specific set of ingredients, a well-known subject with a passionate and observant following, a subtle but noticeable change that sparks curiosity, a compelling and easily digestible explanation that taps into current cultural conversations, and a digital infrastructure that can spread that explanation to millions in an instant. It's this potent combination that transforms a simple fan observation into a viral sensation, proving that in the 21st century, the story about the story can sometimes become more powerful than the story itself. One of the most significant factors fueling the viral spread of these theories is the sheer media saturation surrounding artificial intelligence in 2025. You cannot scroll through a news website, listen to a podcast, or even watch the evening news without encountering a story about AI's latest breakthrough or its most recent controversy. The topic is, honestly, just everywhere. We are constantly being told about how AI is revolutionizing medicine, transforming the financial sector, and reshaping the very nature of work. This constant barrage of information creates a powerful cognitive bias known as the availability heuristic. Because we hear about AI so often, it becomes the most readily available explanation for any new or unusual phenomenon we observe. This so-called headline effect primes us to see AI's influence everywhere, even in places where it may not exist. When viewers noticed the hyper-polished look of the 2025 Hallmark movies, their minds did not immediately jump to a discussion of new camera lenses or upgraded color grading software. Instead, they reached for the explanation that was at the top of their mental inbox: AI. The theory felt plausible, not because of any specific evidence from Hallmark itself, but because it aligned perfectly with the broader cultural narrative being presented in the media every single day. The idea that AI could be writing movie scripts seemed less like a wild conspiracy and more like the next logical step in a technological revolution that we are told is already well underway. This is compounded by a deep and pervasive cultural anxiety about job displacement. The same news reports that celebrate AI's capabilities often carry an undercurrent of fear about which human jobs will be rendered obsolete. We have read countless articles about AI replacing writers, artists, and other creative professionals. This narrative taps into a very real and legitimate concern about economic security and the future value of human skills. When fans imagine AI taking over the Hallmark writers' room, they are not just speculating about a television channel. They are projecting this larger societal fear onto a specific, beloved cultural product. The theory becomes a microcosm of a much bigger and more intimidating conversation. Therefore, the Hallmark AI theory is not really about Hallmark at all. It is a symptom of a society grappling with a period of profound and rapid technological change. The constant news cycle creates a fertile ground of awareness and apprehension, and the specific changes in the movies provide the seed of doubt. The theory itself is the vine that grows from this combination, wrapping itself around our collective consciousness, because it tells a story we are already hearing from all sides. It is a simple answer to a complex feeling, a way of giving a name and a face to the abstract forces of technological disruption that are reshaping our world. If media saturation provides the fuel for these theories, then social media is the engine that gives them explosive momentum. In the pre-internet era, a fan theory might have been debated among a small circle of friends or in the letters section of a niche magazine. Today, a single hypothesis can be shared with millions of people around the globe in a matter of hours. The architecture of platforms like TikTok, X, Reddit and Facebook is perfectly designed to amplify bold, engaging and often unverified claims, creating powerful echo chambers where speculation can quickly harden into perceived fact. It is honestly a digital wildfire that is incredibly difficult to contain. The process often begins with a single compelling piece of content, like the TikTok video comparing old and new dialogue that we discussed earlier. This initial post acts as the spark. The platform's algorithm, designed to maximize engagement, recognizes that the video is generating a lot of comments, likes and shares. It then pushes the video to a wider audience who in turn engage with it, creating a self-perpetuating cycle of virality. Each reshare and every comment adds a layer of social proof. When people see a theory being discussed by thousands of others, they are more likely to believe it has merit. The sheer volume of conversation creates an illusion of credibility. Furthermore, social media allows for the creation and sharing of visual proof that can make almost any theory seem convincing, even if it is highly misleading. A user can take a screenshot of a scene, draw a dramatic red circle around a supposed anomaly, and present it as concrete evidence. They can slow down a clip to reveal a digital artifact or place two slightly different images side by side to imply a grand conspiracy. This kind of visual rhetoric is incredibly persuasive because it appears to be objective even when it is based on pure conjecture or misunderstanding of the filmmaking process. It allows people to feel as though they are discovering the truth for themselves, acting as digital detectives uncovering a hidden secret. This environment fosters a sense of community around the theory. Fans can gather in dedicated forums and social media groups to share their findings, build upon each other's ideas, and collectively piece together the puzzle. This collaborative aspect is engaging and fun, but it can also insulate the group from outside information that might contradict their beliefs. Dissenting voices are often downplayed or dismissed, while confirming evidence is celebrated and amplified. In this way, social media does not just spread a theory, it nurtures it, creating a powerful echo chamber where the rumour becomes a shared reality reinforced by every member of the digital community. Speculating about our favourite media is a tradition fans love to debate, theorise and play detective. These AI theories are just the latest way for fans to connect, turning movie watching into a shared game. It's not about believing every wild idea, it's about the thrill of what if. Unlike real-world conspiracies, this is harmless fun, a way to bond and keep the community buzzing. Theories like these show the creativity and passion of fans who love to play with the stories they cherish. In the end, it's the conversation, not the conclusion, that keeps the fandom alive. Movies have always relied on illusions, CGI, green screens and now AI. Audiences are used to movie magic, so AI feels like just another tool in the filmmaker's kit. Tech companies hype AI as all-powerful, blurring the line between what's possible and what's fantasy. This makes it easy for fans to imagine AI running the show behind the scenes. The mix of Hollywood tricks and Silicon Valley promises creates fertile ground for wild theories. In this world, the idea of an AI takeover feels less like a conspiracy and more like the next step in movie magic. Beneath the fun, these theories tap into a real fear, being replaced by machines. The idea of AI making Hallmark movies is a metaphor for anxieties about automation and the value of human creativity. If even heartfelt holiday films can be automated, what's left for us? Debating AI in movies is a safe way to explore deeper worries about our place in a changing world. The theory gives shape to a free-floating anxiety, making it easier to talk about. It's not just a rumour, it's a reflection of our collective fears about the future. Hallmark movies are more than entertainment, they're tradition, comfort and nostalgia. Fans feel protective of the formula, wary of any change that threatens its familiar magic. When things feel different, blaming AI becomes a way to defend what they love. The theory lets fans be guardians of the real Hallmark spirit, resisting the cold touch of technology. It's a tug of war between craving the familiar and curiosity about change. The AI theory keeps the conversation alive, letting fans both analyze the new and cherish the old. Humans are wired to find patterns we want, simple explanations for complex changes. The AI theory ties together every odd detail, offering a neat answer to every question. It's more satisfying than a bunch of boring, separate reasons. Believing in a single cause gives us a sense of control and understanding. These theories spread because they're easy, efficient, and emotionally resonant. In the end, it's the real algorithm is in our own minds, searching for meaning in a changing world. We've explored the rumours, the reality, and the reasons behind the Hallmark AI theories. The truth is less dramatic. AI is a tool, not a takeover. These stories reflect our hopes, fears, and love for tradition. The heart of storytelling remains human, even as technology evolves. By understanding the role of AI, we can appreciate both the craft and the magic on screen. In the end, it's not about lost soul, it's about new tools helping tell the stories we love. To ensure absolute clarity, let us conduct a final rapid-fire recap, placing the most prominent fan theories directly alongside the established reality. This is the definitive balance sheet of our investigation, the ultimate separation of fact from festive fiction. We'll tick off the myths one by one, replacing them with the truth we've uncovered, so that the landscape of what is real and what is imagined becomes honestly crystal clear. This is the core of our debunking mission, distilled into its most essential points, providing a straightforward guide to the state of affairs at Hallmark in 2025. First, the theory of the fully AI written script. The claim was that every word, every scene, every plot point was generated by a master algorithm. The reality? This is unequivocally fiction. Hallmark continues to employ a full roster of talented human writers who craft the stories from their own experience and creativity. AI may be used as a minor brainstorming or polishing tool, but the soul of the script remains a human creation. Next, the theory of the deepfake actor. The idea that background extras or even minor characters are digital creations. The reality? This is also fiction. The recurring faces fans spotted were real, local extras hired for multiple productions, a sign of smart budgeting, not advanced AI avatars. Then there was the theory of the AI story architect, the notion that an algorithm dictates every plot twist to maximize viewer engagement. The reality? This is a significant exaggeration. While Hallmark does analyze viewer data, it's used for broad strategic planning for future seasons, not for micromanaging the plot of an individual script. The pacing and emotional beats of a story are still determined by the intuitive craft of human writers and directors. The claim that AI editing is ruining the Hallmark feel by making it too polished is where we find a kernel of truth. AI-assisted tools are indeed used for colour, correction and effects, contributing to the polished look, but this is a finishing touch, not a replacement for the human editor's creative decisions. Finally, we have the wildest theory of all, that AI personalizes movies for each individual viewer, creating different plots or endings depending on who is watching. The reality? This is pure science fiction. The technology for this level of real-time personalized content creation on a mass scale does not yet exist and would be prohibitively expensive. The Hallmark movies you watch are static, universal experiences, the same for everyone. The only personalization happens in the recommendation queue, not in the film itself. With these myths firmly put to rest, we can now focus on the more interesting and accurate picture of AI's true role. So if artificial intelligence is not writing the scripts or directing the actors, what is it actually doing behind the scenes at Hallmark? Well, the truth, in a nutshell, is that AI is being used as a powerful and efficient assistant, a sophisticated tool that helps human filmmakers overcome the immense logistical challenges of producing a vast slate of high-quality movies on a television schedule. Its role is supportive, not creative. It handles the mechanical tasks, allowing the human artist to focus on what they do best, telling heartfelt, emotionally resonant stories. It is a story of augmentation, not automation. The most significant impact of AI is felt in the technical and organizational aspects of the production pipeline. In pre-production, it helps to create hyper-efficient shooting schedules and to manage budgets with predictive accuracy. It aids in location scouting by simulating how a town might look in different weather conditions. During post-production, its influence is even more pronounced. AI-powered software is instrumental in the color grading process, helping to create that consistent, warm and festive glow across every film. It's actually the secret behind the flawless digitally generated snowfall and the tool that removes distracting background noise from the dialogue, ensuring every word is heard with crystal clarity. This focus on efficiency is the key to understanding Hallmark's strategy. The network's business model relies on producing a high volume of content to satisfy its dedicated audience during the peak holiday season. AI provides the means to achieve this incredible output without sacrificing the polished, cinematic quality that modern viewers have come to expect. It allows the production teams to work faster and smarter, stretching their budgets further. The time saved by automating a mechanical task like color matching is time that can be reinvested in the creative side of the production, whether that means an extra take to perfect a performance or more resources for beautiful set design. Therefore, you should not think of AI as an author but as a force multiplier. It does not replace the creativity of the cast and crew, it enhances their ability to execute their vision. It is the digital equivalent of a skilled craftsperson meticulously sanding and polishing the final product to ensure it shines. The smoother editing, the perfect snow, and the consistent lighting that fans noticed were not signs of a machine taking over, but rather evidence of a human crew being equipped with better, more intelligent tools to help them do their jobs more effectively than ever before. Despite the integration of these powerful new tools, it is imperative to reaffirm one final, fundamental truth: the heart of a Hallmark movie is and will remain profoundly human. The technology may build the festive vessel, but the emotional cargo it carries is sourced directly from the human experience. The warmth, sincerity, and comfort that define the brand are not qualities that can be coded or generated by an algorithm. They are the product of empathy, intuition, and the shared desire to tell a story that connects with people on a deep and meaningful level. This creative core is irreplaceable. The journey of a story from a simple idea to a finished film is guided at every critical stage by human hands and hearts. It begins with the writers, who draw upon their own memories of love, loss, and family to craft characters and situations that feel authentic and relatable. They imbue the script with the subtle nuances of human emotion and the unspoken language of subtext, creating a blueprint that is rich with potential. This act of creation, of spinning a narrative from the threads of lived experience, is the foundational human element upon which everything else is built. That blueprint is then brought to life by the director and the actors. The director acts as the emotional custodian of the story, using their artistic vision to guide the performances and shape the mood of every scene. They read the room, adapt to the unexpected, and make thousands of intuitive choices that give the film its unique personality. The actors then provide the final vital spark, channeling genuine emotion and creating palpable chemistry that makes the audience believe in the love story. They bring the characters off the page, giving them a soul and making their journey our own. This triumvirate of human creativity, the writer, the director and the actor, forms an unbreakable chain at the centre of the filmmaking process. They are the keepers of the story's heart. While AI can polish the exterior, it cannot touch this inner sanctum. The technology serves their vision. It does not create it. The magic that makes you smile, that brings a tear to your eye, and that fills you with festive warmth does not originate in a silicon chip. It originates in the shared humanity of the artists who have poured their talent and passion into telling the story. Understanding the true balanced role of artificial intelligence in Hallmark's productions is more than just an exercise in technological trivia. It really matters to the preservation and future of a cherished holiday tradition. For millions of fans, the annual countdown to Christmas is honestly a significant cultural ritual, a dependable source of comfort and joy that marks the beginning of the festive season. The fear that this tradition was being co-opted by unfeeling machines was a genuine source of anxiety, threatening to spoil the very comfort. The movies are designed to provide clarifying the truth, allows that comfort to be restored. By recognizing that AI is being used as a tool for efficiency, we can see that its integration is actually helping to keep the tradition alive and well. The immense pressure to produce dozens of new films each year is a significant challenge. By streamlining the technical aspects of production, AI allows Hallmark to meet this demand sustainably. It ensures that the network can continue to deliver the high volume of fresh festive content that its audience craves without a decline in visual quality. In this light, technology is not the enemy of the tradition. It is the ally that helps it to thrive in the modern media landscape. This understanding also allows us to appreciate the films on a new level. We can admire the human creativity at the core of the story while also recognizing the technical skill, including the sophisticated use of new tools that goes into polishing the final product. It removes the unsettling feeling of the uncanny and replaces it with an informed appreciation for the entire craft of filmmaking. Knowing that a human writer penned the heartfelt vows and that human actors created that spark of chemistry allows us to fully invest our emotions without the nagging suspicion that we are being manipulated by an algorithm. Ultimately, this knowledge empowers the fan. It transforms you from a passive consumer worried about unseen forces into an informed viewer who understands the evolving nature of the industry. You can rest assured that the tradition you love is not being hollowed out. The human heart of Hallmark is not being replaced. The stories are still being told by people for people. The methods may be evolving, but the core mission to deliver a dose of heartfelt, festive cheer remains unchanged. The tradition is safe, preserved by the very human creators who cherish it as much as you do. Armed with this comprehensive understanding, you can now approach the next Hallmark holiday season with a new, more discerning eye. You can become an expert viewer capable of distinguishing between the fingerprints of human artistry and the polish of technological assistance. So what should you watch for in the future? When you see that impossibly perfect, gentle snowfall blanketing a quaint Vermont town, you will know that you are likely seeing the work of sophisticated AI-powered visual effects, and you can admire the seamlessness of the digital artistry that creates such a magical winter wonderland. When you notice that the warm, golden glow of a fireside scene is perfectly consistent with the lighting of a scene filmed outdoors on an overcast day, you can appreciate the power of AI-assisted color grading. You will understand that this visual coherence is not a sign of soulless automation, but the result of a human colorist using intelligent tools to execute their artistic vision with flawless precision. You can marvel at the technical perfection, not as something that detracts from the story, but as something that enhances the immersive, dreamlike quality of the film's world, making the escape even more complete. More importantly, you will be able to focus your attention on the elements that are truly human. Listen closely to the dialogue and appreciate the moments of subtext, the witty remarks and the vulnerable confessions that could only have been written by someone who understands the complexities of the human heart. Watch the actors' faces for those fleeting micro-expressions, the subtle glances and wavering smiles that betray a universe of unspoken emotion. See the genuine chemistry that sparks between two performers and know that you are witnessing a unique, unrepeatable human connection, not a programmed interaction. This new way of watching transforms the experience. It allows you to celebrate the best of both worlds. You can appreciate the technological advancements that make the films look more beautiful and cinematic than ever before, while simultaneously cherishing the enduring, irreplaceable human elements that give the stories their soul. As AI in filmmaking becomes more common, this ability to discern the wrapping from the gift will be an invaluable skill. You will know that the polish is just the package, the real present. The story itself is still and will always be made by human hands. As we look towards the future, it is clear that the role of artificial intelligence in filmmaking will only continue to grow and evolve. The technology is improving at an exponential rate, and its capabilities will undoubtedly expand beyond the assistive functions we see today. It is not unreasonable to assume that AI will become even more deeply integrated into the creative process, perhaps helping writers to brainstorm more complex plots or even generating entire first drafts of scenes based on a set of creative parameters. The line between tool and collaborator may begin to blur even further. This future may seem daunting to some, but it also holds incredible promise. Imagine an AI that can analyze audience data to help studios identify underserved demographics, leading to the creation of more diverse and inclusive stories. Picture a tool that allows independent filmmakers on shoestring budgets to create stunning visual effects that were once the exclusive domain of major Hollywood studios. AI has the potential to democratize the filmmaking process, breaking down barriers and empowering a new generation of storytellers to bring their unique visions to life in ways they never could before. However, as this evolution continues, the need for a balanced and responsible approach will become more critical than ever. The most successful and respected studios will be those that use AI transparently and ethically, always in service of the human story, not as a replacement for it. They will be the ones who understand that technology is at its best when it empowers artists, not when it marginalizes them. The ongoing conversation among creators, audiences, and industry leaders will be essential in shaping a future where AI and human creativity can coexist in a healthy, symbiotic relationship. For Hallmark, this means that while the tools will certainly change, the core philosophy will likely remain the same. The network's success is built on a foundation of human emotion, and that is a foundation they are unlikely to abandon. The future may bring more polished visuals, more efficient productions, and perhaps even more varied storylines as AI helps to manage the creative workload. But replacing the fundamental human heart of their brand? That is a plot twist that is simply not on the horizon. The snow globe of the future will still contain a world powered by human connection. In the final analysis, the great AI and Hallmark debate has been far more revealing about us than it has been about the technology. It has shown our anxieties, our passions, and our deep, abiding love for the simple, powerful act of storytelling. The rumours caught fire not because of a grand conspiracy, but because they touched upon a fundamental question: what is the value of a human story in an increasingly automated world? The resounding answer from our investigation and from the very heart of the creative process is that its value is immeasurable and irreplaceable. So, this holiday season, as you settle onto your sofa with a mug of hot cocoa and tune in for that perfectly lit snowfall, that heartfelt vow by the Christmas tree, and that final magical kiss, you can do so with renewed confidence. Remember the truth we have uncovered together. Remember that while an intelligent tool may have helped to render the beautiful falling snow, the love story itself was born from a human imagination shaped by a human director and brought to life by human actors. The technology provides the polish, but the people provide the soul. The story of artificial intelligence is still being written, with new chapters unfolding every day. But the story of humanity's need for connection, for comfort, and for tales that reaffirm our faith is an ancient one, as old as the first fire we gathered around to share our hopes. That story will never be replaced by a machine. It is our story, and it is ours to tell. The magic of Hallmark, and indeed of all great storytelling, is not an illusion that can be faked. It is the genuine echo of one human heart speaking to another. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the truth. We hope this journey has been enlightening. As you go forth into the holiday season, may you find comfort and joy in the stories you love, knowing with certainty that the most powerful processor is the one that beats inside the human chest. The love story, you can be sure, is all human.